Hi, everybody. Today is Thursday, the 12th of June, 2025. As we speak, the New York Knicks, I think it's now been, I believe, 13 days. So it's about 2 weeks since the New York Knicks. And today's UN is brought to you by the New York Knicks. Have been out of the playoffs. And the next day after the playoffs are over, they fired their head coach. Um, it's great. It's amazing. They fired their coach, the coach who a few days ago just lost in a round that the New York Knicks haven't played in. I've always said this since George Washington. I've called the New York Knicks fans and the New York sports fans in general. I understand the Yankees a little bit, but every other franchise should shut up and be appreciative of what's going on. I call them the E word. The E word is called entitled. And they say, "Oh yeah, this coach sucks. It's the worst thing ever." And okay, so is he Pat Riley? No. Is he whatever? No. So okay, I hear you. I hear you. He's not Pat Riley or Phil Jackson. Okay, great. And we have the best roster in the NBA. We're better than the Pacers. And as we speak, the Pacers are up 2-1 in the finals. You lost to them 2 years in a row. This Pacer franchise, every time you have any hope in your life as a Knick fan, specifically back in 2013, I believe you guys won 54 games. You were the second seed, and you lose to the 3 seed Pacers. Last year, you think you're walking to the NBA Finals. You lose to guess who? The Pacers. And you say, oh, you have injuries. Guess you lose to this year. The Pacers. And last time you were in the conference finals back in 2000, who did you lose to? Oh, forgot them. The Pacers. Yo, it's a different toilet. It's the same shit. Sorry to say that. Tyrese Halliburton, Reggie Miller, Paul George. Yeah. And then, U94, you make the finals, and this little skinny guy beats you. I know it was at 7 games, but it was Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller, I think, beat you 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Maybe it was more even. I'm not sure exactly because guess what? No titles were won between the two teams, and only 2 finals appearances were made between them. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 3-2 in the Reggie Miller years. And you guys say we are better than the Pacers. Well, you haven't shown that. And I give you credit. I'm not going to be a baby by saying, "Oh, I'm calling out that guy, the radio show in Boston for losing to trash." Okay, good. Don't respect your opponent during the time. Okay, the Knicks, they've had a I guess a fluke run because you know why? They've called 3 teams, and the word is the E word. I'm not gonna say it's the fans, it's the organization. They called up 3 different teams and say, "Can we hire your coach?" And we just made a stupid move. Because we thought we could just talk to you guys and be jerks, and let's call them up and hire these dudes. Oh no, you can't just do that. Oh no, you're not allowed to do that. No, we can't just hire Finch, who's made 2 conference finals appearances with Minnesota, and they too haven't made it in the conference finals in 100 years. Okay, either. Um, and but but the Minnesota Timberwolves, I don't hear their fans going crazy, and I don't hear the world going crazy because it's the Timberwolves. But the Knicks fans say we didn't do enough. We suck. No, we made the conference finals. It's the worst thing ever. Okay, it is the worst thing ever. And so we have to hire a new coach. And I'm not here to say like Thibodeau's my dad. Okay, fine. So you had a plan, right? You have a plan. It's been 13 days. Now everyone's gonna say, well, you look at David Blatt to Tyronn Lue, which by the way was already decided kind of before, and they hired their new head coach one day after. No. So 3 minutes after he got fired. Oh, I apologize for that. Then you have another story. Phil Jackson, he was hired, I believe, like a day after. Everybody knew it was Phil Jackson because Phil Jackson was forced on the coaching staff by Jerry Krause and Jerry Reinsdorf back in the day. So everyone plays that game. Larry Brown, I think, was hired by the Pistons very recently. And the only thing I can hear of is Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr, which, by the way, Mark Jackson regressed 1 year. So at least you could play that game. And the Warriors they weren't such a terrible franchise before Mark Jackson showed up. They had Monte Ellis, who was a good player, and they weren't good for a couple of years, but they had the We Believe team. They were okay. And then he was hired on May 14th, 2014, when the Warriors lost on May 3rd. Was it May 3rd or May 2nd? So it was, okay, so it's 2 weeks now. So you can still have your time for that. Okay, but you have no plan. You don't know what you're doing. It's just, you know what it is? This is an organization that had like a broken clock, and they were right. This time they were right on the broken clock. The broken clock's right 2 times a day. Like everyone knows, and you were right. This was one of the 2 times because Tom Thibodeau, everybody knew what you were going to hire. You were going to hire a playoff coach that probably wasn't going to win a championship, was going to overwork his players, play them, sorry about that, a lot of minutes, but they're going to play hard. They're going to overachieve what they were supposed to. And then you say, when you get to the top, you go, oh, they always lose in the second or conference round. But he doesn't know what he's doing with the minutes. And then his offense stinks, even though Jalen Brunson was a good player in Dallas, but not this. No one saw this coming. Okay, fine. And Karl Anthony Towns has a great year statistically. Okay, Derrick Rose is an MVP. I understand he's not the greatest offensive schemer. Okay, good, great. But this is my answer to you. My answer to you is this. Have a plan. You don't. You stink. And it's the Knicks. It's James Dolan. It's the organization. It's the fans. Everybody wants to come here. You're the same fans that you were back in 2012, 2013. You're the same fans when Lynn Sandy was going off, say, now we could beat the Heat. And don't tell me you denied it. You did not deny that. I was there. I heard the radio every single day. We could beat the Heat. We could compete with the Heat. The next year, Lynn leaves. You guys have a good start to the season. And you guys beat the Heat 3 out of 4 times. 2 out of 3 because of the 4th time. No one knows this. They benched all their players, the Heat. But you guys beat the Heat 2 out of 3 times. And then the one time you lost to them, it was, I believe, a 6-point game. You didn't win. They did not crush you. You crushed them twice. And then you sit here and you say, we could beat the Heat. And you didn't even play the Heat. But don't sit here and say, you don't know. I didn't say that. Yeah, you did. You did. Tommy, the Knicks fan over there, you said that. You shut up because you did say that. And then when you get a busy offseason, you have D Rose, who's a solid, nothing great. I mean, obviously he wasn't the MVP anymore. And you were getting a solid player. You had Kristaps Porzingis, Joakim Noah, you got in the offseason, and Carmelo was still there. And you had Courtney Lee, Brandon Jennings. You guys had potential to do something, but you guys are sitting there. we are next to Cleveland now. Like, you don't tell me you didn't say that. You did say that, Tommy, the Knicks fan. You said that. I know who you are, and you guys are gonna sit here and say I didn't say that. Yes, you did. And guess what? You guys were a lottery team, and you sit here and say, oh, when Melo was playing, we had first round aspirations or less. No, you didn't. You had aspirations to make the conference finals and compete. I'm not going to say you had title aspirations, but you guys thought you could compete against the LeBron teams with Miami and Cleveland. You guys really said those stuff. You guys pretending now you didn't. And now you guys are saying you make the conference finals. You say, we have the best roster in the league. You have a nice roster. You do not have the best roster in the league. Because I'll tell you why you don't have the best roster in the league. Because Jalen Brunson, while he's very, very good, there are a lot of players. I'm not going to say there are 100 players. There aren't. There are a lot of players that every GM, everybody who's picking a draft will take over Jalen Brunson to start their team in a park game before a season. And you sit here and say, oh, we're better. Well, you weren't better than Boston. No, you weren't. Your roster's not better than Boston. And then you guys sit there and say, well, you look player to player. No, because I believe most people would take Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum over Brunson. And I said, well, look at Brunson's stats. Well, Are you're expecting him to take over at the end of games and win? No, I'm not. Okay, I'm really not. And by the way, Boston won the finals last year, and they kind of came back with the same team, and they had a great year as far as the regular season. So you beat a better team, and you said you go, well, we're better than the Pacers. No, you're not. You're not, because the Pacers keep beating you. So enough. You guys have no plan. It's indicative. It's an indicator of a terrible organization who doesn't know what they're doing. You guys got wins. Say thank you. You show no gratitude. Have a good day. See you soon.